We are about 500 attendees. We represent 39 states, 7 Canadian provinces, 10 countries, and now I've counted a few more, 17 time zones. We are all over the world, literally. Of course, we have today investors numbering actually 42 investors who will join us at one time or another during the day. We have 22 companies who are presenting or pitching, and we have 22 speakers or panelists. So a very, very full agenda and lots to cover. In just a couple moments, we're going to start the day with Walter Robb, but I want to first give you a couple of just general announcements, and Julie gave a few, so I'll come back to them momentarily. First, this whole institute, and of course, if you haven't been haven't been joining us, we've been running webinars all of April, and we'll continue those all of May. They've been made possible by our sponsors. That's Bank of America, Januzzi, the Januzzi Group, and you'll see Nick here a little bit later in the day. New Hope Network, and yesterday you got a chance to hear Carlotta speaking, and then Whipstitch Capital, and Mike Bergmeyer and Nick McCoy will also be with us today. So we want to really thank them because they effectively make this whole thing very affordable. And of course, this time around, without the travel costs and the hotel and meals and so forth, we've made it extremely affordable. And while many of us, of course, are appreciating the ability to do this from our homes, obviously, there are certain networking aspects that are obviously more limited here. And so I want to just be sure that you understand that every presenter will be able, this is being recorded, and every presenter will be able to see all of your questions and all of your feedback that comes in during the day afterwards. We will be making that available to them because it's in the fast-paced day that we've got with 14 different pitches. It's simply impossible to even get all of the 40 investors' comments and questions, let alone the several hundred audience members. So don't be discouraged if you put in a question. If you make a comment, if our moderators did not recognize it, I promise you it will get to the target. And that is my first moment to remind you what Julie just said, especially for those of you who just joined. Please use the Q&A function today, not the panelists who will be communicating via the chat. Please use the Q&A function. The chat, of course, is open all day, as Julie said, for technical issues, for sharing, for networking. But in order to get your questions or your comments to the people who will be moderating each of the sessions, we need you to use the Q&A, so thank you for that. I want to especially thank Carlene behind the scenes here, Julie, Alex Hannafin, Julie Spica, who's been our green room concierge, and Antonio Bavaca, who's been our wonderful slide master. These folks, you're not seeing them, but trust me, none of this happens without them. They have been working day and night to make this happen, and yesterday they did just a remarkable job. I want to also, especially for today, where we have, again, 14 pitches. And these 14 were selected out of over 80 pitches that were submitted. And I want to thank Alex Hannafin, Andy Whitman, Bob Burke, Elliot Bagoon, and Carlene for help with narrowing down the cases and pitches. Now, last night after the Institute ended, we had a convening kind of a happy hour, and we discussed and came to a kind of executive agreement that all 80 pitches that were submitted are going to be posted, or invited, I should say, to post on the Hirshberg website. So even if you were not selected, you will have a chance to actually reach the 40 investors here. And of course, the 40 investors are eager to hear from you. Next week, we will take care of this, assuming Carlene recovers from all of this. We will invite you to spruce it up if you want, tighten it up, Keep in mind, for confidentiality, we cannot self-select. Some investors may be investing in competitive companies. We've tried to address that, but nonetheless, you'll have that ability to put them back out there. And so in the future, just understand that anybody who's submitting a pitch for money will be invited to do so. And I'll go a step further right now and just say to the 235 of you who are already on this morning, even if you did not get a pitch in time for the contest, if you have a financial pitch, a fundraising pitch, go on the Hirshberg Institute, look for the pitch application, fill one out, and get it to us. And as I say, we will create a site. It's not there yet, but we will create a place where you can reach these 40 and more investors. I think those are my announcements. I want to just say that at the end, when you exit today, you will be invited to click on a link to fill out a feedback survey to help us with how any feedback that you've got about the Institute, and we need it. This is all about trying to help all of our businesses to be stronger and better and healthier, and frankly, without your feedback, we can't do that. Now, we're going to have Walter speak in just a moment. And after that, I will explain the rules of the day for the pitchers. But what I want you to understand, just as we leave this introductory part, it's fast-paced, okay? 25 minutes sharp. And I will be the ogre timekeeper to be sure that we do respect people's times. As I say, we've got people spread over 17 time zones here, so I need to really honor the time commitments that people are making. So I'll go over that in due course.